Hi, welcome to Above Life Channel. The purpose here is to inspire your spirit and to fill you with hope. So, today's weekly video is actually on a Tuesday because yesterday, the whole day, I had like one thing after another thing after another thing. And by the time I realized it, it was like afternoon and I was at Johnny Rockets at the Mall of America having some food with my number 3 kiddo who turned 20 yesterday. And I shared about this that I was like, oh my gosh, my oldest 3 kids are in their 20s now. I shared about that on Sunday morning coffee. So if you were here for that, I shared that. I shared that. No wonder I need counseling, huh? Oh, I'm so decrepit and old. Anyway, I am showing up. I'm proud of myself for showing up here today. I did have my therapy session this morning. Got another one later this week, which is good. Lots of stuff bubbling up, trying to hold it. Just trying to hold it. So I'm going to invite you, my empathic friends who are here now watching this, to hold it with me. Hold your stuff. We will hold it together. Okay. Not like weights, but we will hold it in a light, buoyant sort of way. So let me just swing out here to the ethers and double check to make sure that I am showing up on your live streams with all of our, I'm seeing my audio. I want to make sure it's working properly. I'll check it out before I dig too into this. We are going to continue a little bit. We're going to branch off our discussion from Sunday morning coffee, and we're going to talk about, like I mentioned, I wanted to talk about the wound of separation. Hey, Aura, nice to see you. Hi there. All right, so I actually have a friend that shared in a really great, oh, oops, just a second here. Let me turn this down. That shared recently that the root wound is separation. And I'm like, ooh, that was too deep to just go diving into that in our coffee talk on Sunday. But it really is something I really wanted to share with you. I also wanted to talk about this, bring in this energy of the wolf totem. If you've seen me on TikTok, I've shared a little bit here and there about totems. I think I shared my deer totem. But here's the wolf totem. I've been reading the book Women Who Run with the Wolves, which is powerful. My favorite portion thus far. It's hard to read for me. Like, it's a lot of info, intuitive info. It's like storytelling, but it's really deep healing work that happens during that book, Women Who Run with the Wolves. In fact, I have it in here. I have it. And it's the skeleton woman. I mentioned this before, is a part of the energy that I resonate with, which is how like this beautiful skeleton of a woman comes alive because of the compassion of the fisherman and the energy of just this pure creation through compassion and love energy. And it's like the life, death, life cycle, which I resonate with, right? Past, present, future, the energy of Kali Ma, the creator, preserver, destroyer, which I resonate with her energy and her work as well. The archetypal energies of the queen of death, which is the life cycle. It's about the patterns of the cycle and the seasons. All of those deep, 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 deep things. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why that is really powerful. So this wolf energy has been something that has been very present for me. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit too with you guys, you empaths, because animal totems are extraordinarily intuitive. And the energy of the wolf is one that I haven't worked with a lot until recently. And it just showed up. I mean, wolves are pack animals. They they are together in their quest, and their survival depends upon each other. And there is this sense of duty energy, but also this belonging. And the flip side of that is the need to fit in and the need to stay strong. And so it's really an interesting dynamic from what I feel from the metaphysical wolves that I've connected to. So I'm going to say it that way. The metaphysical spirit guides of the wolves that I've connected to. That's what I feel from that. Okay. So you can Google that and look it up and see what it might mean for you on your journey where you're at here and now. But then this contrast of the lone wolf, the person acting alone and having to be on their own, which our ego minds in our human form has really kind of touted as this leadership and strength and this incredible, this person who stands on their own and overcomes great odds and is just so a pillar. And it's like, well, pillar, what you holding up, pillar? Pillar, what you holding up? I'm gonna be a little sassy, a little quirky today because I'm always quirky. Anyway, for the most part, if we were just friends hanging out, you totally see that in me. Some days more than others, right? Whatever energy I bring, I show up in authenticity. And so today, empath, you feel me, right? I got some caffeine in my body because I had my counseling session and I had to be awake for it. And the new medication for the depression is making me fucking tired, which can we talk about the irony of that? I'm so fucking tired from my depression medicine that I'm like having to have caffeinated coffee that makes me like crazy. Ugh. Hey, we do the best we can. Okay. We do the best we can. Lucky for you, I'm good at what I do, so I can do it in my sleep. But we are going to feel into the energy of the wolf vibration. And I really, really strongly encourage you to go Google up that totem animal meaning of wolf. If you're a sketcher, if you like to sketch and doodle, sketch a wolf, sketch a metaphysical wolf, and feel into those piercing eyes, that gorgeous vision, that focus that comes from that wolf energy. That's what I get. I love that. And I like the strength of them and the movement of the body and the shoulders and the upper body strength. And for me personally, that's really a hit. That really, whew, that gets my heart pumping. Okay, my heart needs to pump gently though. Okay, heart, gently pumping. But that idea of like holding yourself up and being strong in the shoulders for me physically expresses my metaphysical desire to be able to carry the weight, hold, that weight of the world on your shoulders, but to do it in a way that is strong and empowering and filled with baskets of abundance to hand out to all the people that you encounter. That's my vision of strength metaphysically across this space, but physically the strength of those incredible forearms of those wolves and just that. Oh, wow. And the voices, the collective voices, the calling out and the response and the communication of the wolves, that is breathtaking. Do you feel me right now with that? Yes, you do. So Google up the totem animal meaning and feel what it means to you, sense what it means to you, and read whatever words, key words stick out for you. That's the message for you right now. That's what is here for you now with the totem. So totem animals are spirit animals. Animals serve as guides. And many of you I know are animal lovers because you're empaths. And empaths respect all things, all animals and creatures. Empaths do. You understand the love, the unconditioning of love. And those animals have that for us. So this energy of the wolf totem coming in today, I hope will maybe spark something or activate some extra level of support within you or movement within you or some synchronicity, network synchronicity that will give your heart that shored up energy of strength and today endurance. Okay, so we're going to talk about separation and the contrast of the lone wolf, the individual, all by themselves, and the collective of the pack of wolves. So us as humans, as people, we are not meant to be alone. You're not meant to do everything alone. You're not meant to be alone. You're meant to be in community. You're meant to support each other and exchange and support the thrivership of all of who are in your circle of support, your community. That pack mentality is something that is, I think sometimes we have kind of overused that concept in time at times where it's become like the sports teams and then like the people on the in and the people on the out. But it can also be great, like the teams, very strong, solid camaraderie, loyalty, connectedness. But then when you're outside of it, you're the lone, you're the individual, you're on your own, but you might still be the wolf, right? You might still be the person that's playing that sport, but you might not be in the team environment of that, like within the team. Sometimes there's segregation, right? There's outing of or othering of. And so there's a whole bunch of social dynamics here related to this. So I hope that, and as I'm saying this and I'm sharing this with you, do you know what I'm seeing? I am seeing the book by Abby Wambach, Wolfpack. Have you read that? Wolfpack? It's an interesting book. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not like a top 10 leadership book, but it's got kind of this mentality of understanding that team kind of environment, like pick me up, support each other. It's kind of a feel good book, I would suggest, if you're interested in something like that, especially if you work in a team environment, you want to feel or create a connection to team. Even in your own family, come on, we need to act more like a freaking team. I've thought about that. Like, I thought about that when my kids were little, having like little like jerseys made. That's like mama's dream team, MDT, and have each of their like birth years on it. Take a picture of them, Now that they're in their 20s, and my youngest is 14, well, gonna be 15 actually. Oh my gosh. I'm feeling decrepit again. But all those little things, like thinking about that concept of working together and that connection. All right, so the root wound, I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I quoted her, Rebecca Cavender. It's spelled like lavender with a C, Cavender, RebeccaCavender.com. Her work is quite amazing. It's very divine feminine. It's very earthen energy. I would describe her as someone who has like a shaman ancestry with blend of understanding and insight into the archetypal energies of the divine feminine. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for her. But she's also to be transparent, she's also like probably one of my bestest friends. If I have like 2 or 3 best friends, she's definitely there. So, but Rebecca Cavender, spelled like lavender with a C, C-A-V. Okay. She said in one of her shares, she did this beautiful snake convergence. She does snake medicine. She's a priestess that works with the energies of a shaman, priestess, higher archetypal energy. It's hard to describe really what she is, but she's this presence in devotion to this snake energy that is about our transformation, our connection, our working with the earth and the land and the elements to really hold space for ourselves in a way that is transcendent. That's how I'll describe it. Now, I don't know fully because I haven't been in her temple yet, but I will be. So we'll see. I'll share more with that potentially for you, maybe. But if you're feeling that kind of movement energy, that kind of very life affirming Shakti energy, that Kundalini sensual energy, and also just the resourcefulness of us within ourselves and that mother energy. You might be interested in her work. So she said something that I wrote down. The root wound is separation. So if as empaths, we are so connected to one another and within ourselves, through ourselves to each other, it would make sense that if we're not connected to a part of ourselves, then we can't connect to that part in another person. So if I'm more disconnected from my body, for example, my physical body is not my favorite thing, let's say, and let me just be clear, I have been struggling with that in the last month or so, actually 3 weeks probably, I'd say it's pretty strong. Um, that part would be hard then to connect with another person in their body or with their body or um, to be intimate, to feel safe, to feel powerful and held in the body. So it would be hard to connect with somebody else who maybe has those same struggles, and so we feel that too, or especially as empaths, or somebody who has recently gone through a traumatic physical experience where maybe a surgery, or maybe they've gotten a diagnosis or something, you might feel the physicality of that, and that would be a trigger for your body. You might not even know that it is, but it might be, for example, as an example. And so it makes sense that there is this innate separation that occurs when we don't want to feel ourselves, our wounds, our pieces of work that we're doing. We don't want to feel it raw and too real. And we don't want it to be too strongly revealed, like in front of other people, for example, and in front of our pack, even. So we try to contain this. And yet, then when we're in that scenario or experience, and somebody else has it, we instantly will separate from that person, from that story, from that experience by maybe redirecting the conversation, maybe jumping in and changing the subject or trying to fix that thing for that person because within ourselves we don't want to touch it. We don't want it to be revealed, we don't want it to be known. We don't want to have to feel our own pain in that same area that my sister person in my pack is talking about. Mm, I don't want to address that. I work so hard to shove it in the corner and bring other things forward and lead through other areas of light that I don't want this active within me. And so when you're talking about it, it is making me feel not just uncomfortable, but it's making me feel like I need to take an action. I need to do something about your pain. I need to do something about what I'm feeling coming from you because what's coming from you is coming in toward looking for that one piece in me that relates to that because that's what connection is, that relativeness. And it's trying to pull it out so that it can go, oh, yes, I understand. Because we're looking for the ways that we can connect, that we're familiar to each other, that we're comfortable with one another. And sometimes when we share pain, it is a place where we can find compassion and vulnerability and just a sweetness, right? Which is odd to say that pain can create a sweetness, but it can because it lets all of the other guards down. It drops other walls, it catches you off guard, and perhaps that's why our root wound is separation because we don't want to be constantly reminded of where we are in deficit, where we are striving to forget what we feel that we cannot handle or manage within ourselves. And it's not because you're bad. That's not why there's a wound there. It's because you're human. And because you're a spirit engaging in energetic connections with people, whether you isolate yourself from other people or not, you're still going to feel them. You're still going to feel the world at large. Staying in your house all the time does not make you less empathetic. Okay. I'm so sorry to tell you that. You can honor your body and your physical self by not showing up in huge crowds, at very loud, sensory, overloaded places, you can do that, but you can't just never leave your house and expect to feel better empathically because you also need the positive connections, the positive, warm, fuzzy reminders. Like when you see a cute little kid in the grocery store kicking its little feet, holding onto the cart and just smiling, smiling. You can't resist feeling a connection to that sweetness and that joy then. That part of you, that childlike part of you that gets a little boost from that little memory of maybe you as a little kid. Even if your childhood wasn't all roses and cherries or all sweet and fun to remember, there's a part of you that did have moments like that, regardless of what your childhood was like. And so when you see that little kid just, you can't help but feel that part of you. That's connection. That's connection. And we're pack like animals and creatures. That's what we are. That's what we are. So there is nothing wrong with you when you feel so much when you are in a group like that and want to get away from it. Like you want to get up and go to the bathroom, just get out of the room because it's too much. The story share is too much. Or it's attaching to one of your grief spots that you have memories of grief. And so it's bringing it to the surface and you don't want to feel that. That's understandable and you have choice. However, when you do other things like and I'm not saying you have to stay there and just hold that space. We have to talk about holding space, but I'm not suggesting you have to do that. But what I am saying though is that notice how you respond because the truth is you might be trying to quiet their voice because you can't speak with yours authentically. And there might be a part of you that resistance is really about self-protection and about you're trying to keep yourself safe. And that's all of those things are valid, but you have the opportunity then to be in awareness so that you can make conscious choices and not just react, not just do traumatic responses, things that you've just developed over time to just how to deal with stuff. And like for me too, being in a group there's an instinct to not just, like, tap out and just not listen. There's not that. Like, I'm pretty good about the paying attention, being there, kind of holding the space, whatever, but I will really shield myself from taking on that person's stuff, which is healthy to have some kinda healthy balance, but at the same time, there can be, even for me, like, if I'm in a group of my peers, to want to step in and make it better. Wanna make that person less sad or less in pain by doing something. Can I do something metaphysically? Can I help clear your energy? Can I lighten your load? There is for me, this kind of responsiveness of, okay, how can I help? Because the energy that this person has is so much their own pain. They're so kind of stuck in the moment, which they might not be stuck, but they're in this depth of this really personal pain. And then we have to witness it. And it's like, wow, how do you do that in a way that honors you as well as not trying to fix them? Give them the full space to feel all their feels. And what we try to do, and myself included sometimes, is to stop them from feeling that because I'm coming into this group as a peer wanting to share and wanting to be part of the group as well, side by side, not the one that has to step in and heal them or help fix them or whatever. And those are my things. Those are my triggers that come up. Those are my pieces that I do that I know of. So you have pieces too that you know of too. And if you know of them and you're in awareness of it, then you can make choices that are conscious then about how you want to respond. How do you want to participate? And then it might be a scenario where you write down a few things so that you can go back to that later for you and recognize what's coming up in you because when one person speaks, it's said for everyone in the circle. So when somebody shares something and it's deep and it's heavy and it's intense, every single person in that circle, either them or their soul family or ancestors, are part of that same message. And so the reason why you're there is to witness that and might not have a direct impact on you at that moment, but it does on your lines, your ley lines, your lineages, the women that came before you, the women that are your children and your ancestors here too, like all of it. It does. We are not just our mind. We are not just this body. We are the extended energy of the root system. So if our root wound collectively is separation, when we are in groups or when we are in that place of having the opportunity to really be with other people, like be there, not just like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine too. Putting on your happy face, putting on some makeup and getting out there in the world. And when you really feel like wearing your pajamas, and laying in bed for a couple days because you just feel heavy and sad. It's I mean, it's understandable. Your feelings are valid. It's not about just pushing through. Sometimes it's about being with. And we have to, I think, give ourselves the opportunity to learn how to do that. Because if we do, then we're with ourselves too. The separation that we have, the core separation is within ourselves. We're not honoring, we're focusing more on our mind and what our physical body can do, and we're not paying attention to the matters of the heart and how we feel about things or our spirit. We're ignoring the intuition or we're fighting the intuitive sensing knowing vibe, that inner wisdom. We're fighting with our mind, and it's not, there's no fight there. We're fighting against ourselves. It's ridiculous. It's like doing a tug of war with yourself. Nobody can win. It's not like that. It's like a dog chasing its tail. It's exhausting. It doesn't help anybody. It just tears apart, causes separation, forces you to choose, which side are you on? Are you on the brain and the body side, or are you on the heart and the soul side? Or are you on the heart and the body side? Because the heart and the body lately for me have been very connected. And then are you on the mind side? And then, oh, by the way, the spirit too is there. So now there's three. So we're all going to divide up the votes. And so nobody's going to win. There's not going to be any majority of nothing. And we're just going to be fragmented and separated. So if our root wound is separation, that means we believe in some way, we believe that being on our own, being that lone wolf is something that's going to be rewarded. I mean, like even Jesus had buddies, you guys. Come on. I mean, all of the energies of all time have had a crew. They've had people to support them, families, a significant other, a loyal companion, trusted animal to walk with. They're generally not on their own. I mean, think about it, right? Doesn't the Buddha have the Taras or the Taras? Yeah. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, we are not meant to do things on our own. Okay, that's not to say, hey, everybody do everything for me. It's about the balance. It's about the balance. It means we get to be in awareness that we need to ask for help and we need to practice that because we're not so good at it. I'm not so good at it either. Because it can be, especially as an empath, you can be in a state where you think that your friends are going through a lot, so you don't want to burden them with your stuff. It's not about that. It's about sharing. It's about letting it out. Because when you speak it, you're also speaking for something within that person. Now, it's true they might have a different timing or timeline as to when they're going to address that issue in their life, but you might be exactly part of the purpose for them to then tap into something for themselves, to release, to clear, to shift, to be open to. You never know when you are the messenger. And so it's the connection is so important. And it's okay to feel like you're on the outside. It's okay to feel like you're separate from others. And it's okay to have moments where you just need to process by yourself. But do not trick yourself or confuse yourself into believing that that's the way you're supposed to be, because it's not. It is not. There's already 4 aspects to you, remember? Remember, this is what I teach you, right? Body, mind, heart, and soul. 3 or 4 aspects, not just 3, not body, mind, spirit. Body, mind, heart, and soul. You have 4 aspects to who you are. So if you separated that out into 25 percentiles, you need at least 3 of those in order to get a C. Ooh. And if you only focus on 2 of them, your head and your body, for example, you're only 50%. I think you're failing then. That's an F, right? So if you think about things in terms like that, I mean, it is important. All the parts of you are important, and not all parts of you are functioning at full capacity. I'm not even talking about capacity. I'm just talking about recognition for your body, recognition for your heart, recognition for your soul, recognition for your mind. If you make one part of you bad, then you're poisoning the water hole. Right? So, like when people say they talk about ego, some spiritual teachers in the past anyway has, especially Wayne Dyer used to talk about this, and he used to say that ego meant edge God out. I do not believe that. I do not believe that is what ego is for. I believe every part of us, body, mind, heart, and soul, serve a purpose, and they are in service to us as a whole. They are part of our pack. They are part of our success story. They are part of our happiness and our experiences in life. And when we make one bad, then we're making ourselves bad. We're judging, we're evaluating, and we already get enough of that crap from the rest of the world. We don't need it. We don't need to be doing performance reviews and evaluations on ourselves or giving ourselves report cards. Do we? Do we really need to say, oh, I'm at a C level? Oh, I'm F, I'm failing. I mean, come on. We get enough of that. So I think it's really super important to recognize that the pack that you have is really your body, mind, heart, and soul. And I will tell you, I'll be the first to admit, like I just told you, I just told you guys that the last 3 weeks I've been really feeling, I've been digging on my body. But I know that my body it's complicated. I have a complicated relationship right now because there's some unknowns medically, and I have to get to a place where I have factual information about, things. And then once I have that, then maybe I can come to terms with how I'm going to relate to my body, how much I'm going to push it and exercise it, because I can't strain right now. So that's a thing. But I, I want to have balance, but not live in fear. And so that's tricky because it's so weird because I'm so used to loving and honoring my body, and right now, I feel like I've been very mean to it, but I don't really know how to interact with it anymore. I don't even recognize it. I'm like, "Whoa, girl, what's up with you? You're getting kinda saggy. What's happening?" You know? And I'm like, "Oh, it's not just about compassion or kindness, it's just about letting myself be in a state of uncertainty, you know, and not disconnecting from it and not judging it." And that's hard. That's hard. That's real hard right now. So the wound, the root wound that we have is separation. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Mhm. Yeah, it does. I know this one's kinda deep. I will share with you guys. So I've on my TikTok, on Above Life channel TikTok, I've shared a little bit about some new card decks that I got. So this one is so gorgeous. I'm trying to think if I have I don't think I have that. This is the Medicine Woman deck that I got. It's so beautiful. I'm just gonna show it to you quick. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And I got a card this morning. Let me just grab it so you can see what it looks like. I don't know if I showed this to you guys yet. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I might have. But this one, I got this one, The Art of Rituals, and it says number 33. Thank you very much. And you guys know, do you guys know we should have a lesson about this? We'll have a mini lesson right now, but because I'm so clairvoyant and very visual, I like to use card decks, oracle cards, not tarot. I don't usually do tarot because to me, it's just like so complicated, the whole system and stuff. But if it's your lineage and you love it, go for it. I mean, really just dig in. But this one is a Medicine Woman card deck that I got to go into the Snake Priestess temples that I'm going to be doing with my friend Rebecca Cavender. I get to be a participant. Ooh, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people that I'm in that. Is that like a secret thing? I don't know. I hope it's not. I hope I didn't just oops. Anyway, so it's a sacred thing. So the art of ritual is number 33. 33 is an ascended master number. If you're into numerology, 33 is an ascended master. Anytime you get double numbers is a real sign of support. It's that mirrored energy of as above, so below, but it's also a recognition that you're not alone. And that's what we're talking about here in the pack, right? We're not alone. So I look at the imagery of a card, the colors, the images, the shapes. I look at the words are cool because they're powerful, right? They trigger and they give us some extra info. Um, this one talks about practices and rituals just very basically, the art of rituals. I like that it says art because it's not a science. It's very artistic and creative, which assumes that there's no one right way because there's not. There's lots of different kinds of rituals and all the different like religions and spiritual ceremonies and earthen ceremonies and all sorts of things that writers do and creatives do, things that, I mean, all sorts of things like the birth rituals, like with the doulas, and I mean, all the things, all of the things, right? The art of rituals. Okay, so I'm going to look at this one and kind of feel into this. Is the first time I got this card. So I'm noticing the chakras, the energy of the chakras here. I'm noticing 1, 2, at least 3 bodies, physical bodies in different forms. I'm noticing the lotus position, which is that opening opportunity, that support. I'm noticing the wings outstretched on one of the energies. I'm noticing that is a little bit of a nod toward angelic energies and presences, and you know that I work a lot with the archangels. There's a lot of red here, which is that root chakra, which we just talked about, the root wound, right? The root chakra energy of the connection to earth. There's a lot of red, and then there's a little bit of white that comes up too from the earth. So a little bit of the Kali Ma energy. Kali is the creator, preserver, destroyer energy. That recognition of the pattern and the place you're in the pattern. That's a message we just got. The pattern and the recognition of the place that you're in within the pattern. Okay, so it could be the beginning, middle, or an end of something, morning, noon, and night of something. It could be the phase of your life that you're in. It could be the life, death, life cycle of the skeleton woman, for example. I feel a little nod. Then I also see kind of the rays of the sun energetically. So I'm seeing a solar energy vibe, which actually looks like the new logo in my Above Life channel. Wait, do you guys see that one? It's really simple, but it looks like that. I can see that. Let me just see. This feels collaborative because there are 3 bodies here. There's also a very large crystal on the crown chakra at the top. So it's kind of like an antenna or receivership, acknowledging the receivership. So crown chakra being activated. Yeah, it really feels balanced or in alignment. So art of rituals could be a lot of different ways. It could be a lot of different things. It could be, hey, it's time to get out your rattle and rattle. It's time to shake, shake, shake that rattle, or to drum if you have a drum, or a singing bowl. I actually have all 3 of those in. I have 2 of them in this room and 1 of them outside this room. A ritual for you might be to light a candle. I have that happening here. It might also be to do a little bit of a burn. We just had a new moon 2 nights ago. Yes, we did. So new moon energy, the mysterious darker side of the moon, the unknown, the setting intentions energetically. This could be, again, a symbol, like the ritual that could be activated here for you might be, hey, I got to do some meditation, do a chakra alignment. Chakras are the energy centers and the center of the body. It could be an alignment, doing like, look at the Buddha, like, look at the sitting, like this could totally be the energy of doing a meditation, right? Mm-hmm. This could be a hit toward doing yoga. Maybe that's your ritual you need to do, or maybe you do breath exercises. Maybe you go for a walk. What is your ritual? What are rituals that could support you in reconnecting? Okay, so that's your little challenge, if you choose to accept it, to reconnect. Maybe do some kind of a ritual or introduce a ritual. Like our ritual is to drink coffee in the morning, like for me, for example, right? Like that kind of thing. But maybe you have a different one. Maybe you listen to a certain podcast that starts your day with a positive attitude, a positive energy topic, nothing that you have to like fix about yourself, but something that just feels good. Maybe you listen to a great comedian every day at some point, like at lunchtime, you listen to something and you laugh and laugh and laugh, and that's your ritual. Or maybe your ritual is watching Frasier before you go to bed. I've been doing that as a ritual. It just feels good to like cozy up and watch Frasier and just laugh, kind of thing, and just be like, oh my gosh. Or go for a walk, a beautiful walk, just out to get the mail, maybe, or on your lunch break at work, even if you're in the middle of the busy, bustling city, maybe, just maybe. So, all right. I'm going to say hello to the chat. Thank you so much for being here today on our Tuesday video. So I said hello to Aura. Hi, Queen. Nice to see you, my dear. It's good to be seen, my dear. It's good to be seen. Hey, Lisa from Florida. Do you know how many Lisas I have, you guys, as clients? Clients and viewers and friends, and oh my gosh, lots of Lisas. That's a great name. That is a great name. KB, hey, nice to see you. Rebecca, nice to see you. And Joe, now recovering. Oh, you're now recovering, afraid of what's next. I know. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you a lot. I feel you. Yes. I also want to make a shout out to Miss A. I'm going to call her Miss A because I don't know how she wants to be addressed online, but Ms. A. Thank you for the link. Thank you for the lovely emails that you send me. I love your emails. She's like my pen pal. She writes to me and checks on me and makes sure I'm doing okay ever since my surgery. She's been a lovely guardian angel for me, and I just adore her. Never met her, never met her, never been a client. Just somebody that I connected with here because of YouTube, and I am just very, very blessed and grateful. She has good, excellent taste in coffee and great taste in YouTube channels. Thanks, Miss A. Nice to see you. I know you have a lot of stuff going on with your family, and I'm sending you a ton of love. And anybody on here who is dealing with, now switching gears, hard right. Anybody on here who's dealing with chronic disease or a health diagnosis for you or for family or a friend, I know it is nuts. It is like, it kind of feels like you have a multiple personality sometimes because you feel good and then all of a sudden you don't. And then you can be more prone to major depression because it feels insurmountable sometimes, especially when there's a great deal of physical pain. Like I have a friend who has lupus, and I don't know how girl does it. I swear to God, she has one thing after another that slams into her and she just keeps going. She has like arthritis too now because of that. And she's younger too. She's like maybe 50, I think. That's it. And to me, that's young because I'm 51. She's like a sister to me, though. She's such a sweetheart. And I know that she's a mega Prince fan. And I mean, I don't know how. I think day by day is how, and faith. Not just faith in a greater power or the universe, but faith in just the ability for our hearts to stay connected, to have that desire to stay in the game, to stay in life, to continue to have life experiences so we can enjoy our friends, we can enjoy our family, we can enjoy a sunset, we can enjoy a really yummy bundt cake. And if you know, you know, bundt cakes, oh my God. Oh, nothing bundt cake. Just had it yesterday. Had it for breakfast this morning. See, this might be why my body isn't so happy with me lately. But you know what I mean. It's like the simple things, and you can't explain that to people who have not experienced this. And like people just go about their lives like it's no big deal until they literally have that wake up call. And sometimes you put snooze on the wake up call. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to know and you don't want to deal with it because you don't know how. It's okay to not know how. You just show up one day at a time. Sometimes one moment at a time. It depends on what you're facing that day. But on the bright side, I have a friend who's going to be a nana soon, and I should keep checking my messages to see. So that's a good piece of information. Ain't that the reason to be here today, to be alive today, to have a new little life coming into this world, little baby girl, granddaughter she going to have? I'm really happy for her. But the process of the birth is intense. She's talking about it. She was talking to me about it like, wow, that's a lot. I'm like, yeah, we went through it, girl. We know. I did 4 times. Woohoo. Yeah, I did it. And so did you. Some of you also. Yes, 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 yes. And so you know that it's a beautiful thing, but it's also a lot of work, right? You got to show up. It's just like life. It's a beautiful thing, but you got to show up and it's sometimes a lot of work. And sometimes there's pain. Sometimes there is. And I hope it's worth it. And it's going to be worth it until it's not. And then I respect that when it's not for you. I just respect that. I have a totally different vibe on life and death and life and stuff than I think a lot of other people do that I really haven't talked. I don't talk. You got to be a little conscious of who's watching and listening on YouTube because you don't want to say something and have somebody misunderstand what you're saying and be like, oh, that means I can do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that that awareness gives you choices and options, and to show up today is brave for a lot of people. A lot of people, a lot of people are walking around with pain in their bodies and they're showing up and they're your cashier at Target. So don't be an asshole. Seriously, if they're giving you the crabbies and they're not making eye contact, it might be because they're whatever they're the 5 vertebrae in their back that are crushed and they're standing on their feet all day working and taking pain meds, trying not to puke. It might be that. I'm just saying. So if they don't smile at you, there might be a fucking good reason. So just let people be where they're at, including yourself. Okay? Okay. So look up the wolf totem animal. Remember, that's one of your assignments today. Look up the wolf totem animal. And then the other one is the ritual thing, the ritual piece. Choose something that you can do for yourself today that maybe you can start, that you can go back to. And now a ritual isn't something you have to do every day. You can do it just on the new moon, just on the full moon. We can do it here too, you guys. We can try to have some rituals here for us on Above Life channel. Like we kind of do Sunday morning coffee and usually a Monday morning video, but this week it was Tuesday. But Sunday morning coffee, like we get together at least once a week for videos, right? That's a ritual. That's a really good, healthy ritual, like that, for example. Okay. So pick some things that you might want to try to introduce into your life. And it can be very simple too. It could be journaling. It could be, like I said, lighting a candle, doing your singing bowls, doing your yoga, doing some stretches, whatever that might be for you. Whatever feels good for you, mind, heart, soul, or body. Maybe it's your brain. Maybe you need to take a workshop or a class. Check me out on TikTok so we can stay in touch on the days that I'm not here on YouTube. I'd appreciate that. And I'll try to share some more of these beautiful cards because aren't they gorgeous? You guys, I need sponsorships because I am such a good promoter of other people's stuff. If you have a card deck, send it to me so I can see if I like it. If I like it, I'll share it. What did I do with it? Oh, yes, I did. Right here. Here it is. This one is so cool. I love that primary colors. Look at that. It's very shaman-like. Very shaman-like. I'm really liking this one, you guys. Very grounded. Okay. All right, my lovely, beautiful people, thank you so much for hanging in here with me. It's always such a pleasure and such a joy. Am I doing sessions? Yes, I am. And there are always links in my description to click on the first link to schedule something, and then it will give you a full list of what's available right now because there's a lot of different things I'm doing. So look at it and see what fits your budget and what you feel like you need in that heart space right now, okay? So trust your intuition, okay, to see what you might need or what I could help you with, okay? Hi, Kathy. Oh my God, nice to see you. Sending love back to you, my prince friend. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I hope I've inspired your spirit a bit today, encouraged you to live your life. It's your life, yours. It's your life, okay? And you get to live it. You get to live it. It is a gift. I know some days for my friends who are in pain right now, I know it's hard sometimes. But you get to be here. Some days I ask myself, why did I choose to stay again? Can you remind me? Can you remind me? Can you remind me? Who's going to remind me? You guys are. I love you guys so much. I hope you know how much I love you. So it's your life. Just live it. Just live it. Thanks for being here.